Hello dear students, welcome back. In this class, we're going to do Search Reading 1 task. Let me give you a brief outline for this class. First, we need to revisit the question, what is search reading? And then I'm going to share some quick tips on how to do well in search reading tasks. And lastly, we're going to do Search Reading 1 task with the answer key. Let's start with the question, what is search reading? Search reading is a long reading text with a number of subtitles, paragraphs, and visuals. These visuals can be in form of charts, pie charts, bar graphs. That means you will read a 5 or 6 pages long reading text, and this text will be divided into subtitles and paragraphs, and the text can be sometimes reinforced with bar charts or pie charts. The reason is we want to make it easier for you to find the information you are looking for. You need to finish the search reading text in 20 minutes. That sounds very difficult, doesn't it? So now the question is, how can you finish this long reading text and answer 6 questions in 20 minutes. So at this point, I'm going to share some quick tips for you to help you finish this long reading text in 20 minutes. The first thing that you should do is that you should not read the whole text. You don't have to worry about understanding everything in the text. If you don't have to understand everything, then what should you do? The skills that you need to read such a long text in such a short time is first, surveying. By surveying, I mean you need to look at the titles, subtitles to get the gist of the reading text. And the second skill that you need is that you need to look at the keywords. By skimming, you need to understand the main idea of the paragraphs. This should take 1 to 2 minutes. And the last skill that you need is scanning. By analyzing the search reading questions, you will search for the exact location of the information. You need to also pay attention to the parts of speech. Parts of speech in the blanks, right? So you have 6 questions, and these are actually not questions, but rather statements, some sentences, right? And these sentences have blanks. You need to fill out the blank by using the information from the text. You need to remember at this point that the questions are rephrased sentences from the actual search reading text. For more useful tips on how to do well in search reading text, you can check the previous video we sent to you before. The link will be in the description box below. Let's start our task today. Here is how your Search Reading 1 task looks. This is the title, The World's Happiest Places. So this tells us that we're going to read about some places, and these are the world's happiest places. And after that comes a subtitle, who is the world's happiest person. This will give this subtitle, and what's written under this subtitle will give us the idea about who the world's happiest person is, right? So at this point, you need to remember that this is a 5 or 6 pages long text, and you have the questions on a different sheet, right? Okay, if you're ready, now we can continue with the questions. Question 1 comes in 2 sentences, and there is a gap after the word less than. Right? So we need to first have a look at the parts of speech that we might need for this part. It might be an adjective, a noun, or a compound noun, or verb, whatever you might think. And please pay attention to the use of word spend. As you know, the word spend can be used in these forms: spend money on something, spend time on something or with somebody, on somebody, and spend something on somebody or on something forms. As you noticed, we need something here. It can be a compound noun, it can be a noun, or any kind of part speech. Let's have a look at the other keywords that we might need to identify the exact place, exact location in the reading text. So as you can see, some words are color-coded for you to help you find the information in the reading text. Less than something on your beloved job can make you happy, and having enough time for socializing and doing charity work. These words are color-coded because, as you will see in the next picture here, on page 2, paragraph 2, there is the question with a subtitle, who is the world's happiest person? And this is what's written under. And the color-coded words or phrases are going to help you to find the answer here. In the actual question, it said less than something, right? And in paragraph 2, on page 2, it says no more than. So less than and no more than mean exactly the same thing. And in the same sentence, it says in the question, in the statement, on your beloved job. So we're looking for the equivalent of this statement or this part here. And when you go to paragraph 2 on page 2, there is this phrase in the same sentence, at a job he loves. So at a job he loves and on your beloved job are almost synonymous with each other, right? And the third part that we're going to look at in the question or in the statement is having enough time for socializing. So we're looking for some part that mean this in the actual text. So with this part, with co-workers he enjoys spending time with, actually mean the same here, right? So for socializing or enjoy spending time are actually quite the same things. And this purple written part in the statement, a question statement, says doing charity work. So we need to find some phrase that mean the same or that have a similar meaning. And in the actual text, it says spend a few hours every week volunteering. And so charity work and volunteering are almost the same thing. So this is the paragraph that we need. So from this paragraph, there is only one thing that is the thing that we're looking for the correct answer, and that part is 40 hours a week. So spend less than 40 hours a week is our correct answer. This 40 hours a week is our correct answer. So now, because you got the idea already, we're going to continue in the same way for the next question. Looking at the second question, you will see that there is a blank, and before the blank, there is the word an. So we are sure that what comes after this part is a noun, right? Or a compound noun. So now that we know this part, we can have a look at the key concepts, keyword that will help us to identify the exact location of the information in the actual text. So eudaimonic happiness is important, is a keyword for us, so we're going to be looking after this word, and which is evaluated according to the experiences of a person on the previous day is another important information that we need to identify in the text. And what comes after, because true happiness is all about a something, is also what we need to find in the actual text. So we're looking for a concept known as eudaimonic happiness, and we need to find the paragraph that this eudaimonic happiness is first mentioned, right? For question 2, we're going to be looking at page 2, paragraph 5. This is the place where the term eudaimonic is first defined, and here you can see the definition in this sentence, right? This is referred to as eudaimonic happiness. So we found the word eudaimonic happiness here. So what comes after this part is going to be important in finding the correct answer. So as you can see in the question statement, it says, this is a concept which is evaluated according to the experiences of a person on the previous day. So the word evaluated is very important here, because in the paragraph, you will see this sentence. It says, this is measured by asking respondents whether they learned or did something interesting in the previous day. So previous day, match. And measure, evaluate, match. So we found this part as well. And now what we need is this because part, why. So this will give us the reason why, right? And in the original text, we are given the information that the concept was made popular by Aristotle, and he believed that true happiness came only from a meaningful life. And you can easily find the information here that this is the reason, because true happiness is all about a meaningful life. So meaningful life is the correct answer for us. Continuing with the third question now. Compared with the previous two questions, this question is a lot simpler because it is very easy to find the keywords and the matches for these keywords. So looking at the statements here, I again color-coded for you. The Costa Ricans benefited a lot from something and something going on. So Costa Ricans, this word, this place name is important because we're going to be looking for this word in the actual text, right? And other important keywords are again color-coded here. Please have a look at them. So now that we know what these keywords are, of course, the keywords are something about, the year, and it's about important vocabulary such as enforcing legislation. So this will be useful in identifying the right paragraph in the actual text. So here's the answer for you. You need to go to page 3, paragraph 4 for this. You see the title Costa Rica. So we found the paragraph that we will need to find our answer. And after the Costa Rica paragraph comes this subtitle, the social system. Well, we need to go here because throughout the question here, we talked about legislation, schooling, these healthcare, these kind of concepts, right? So this all goes to the title, takes us to this title, social system here. And when you look at the comparison here between the keywords and the actual text, you will see a perfect match. So Costa Ricans, this is under the title of Costa Ricans, and the time is here again in 1869 is the time where when school became mandatory for every child in Costa Rica. Again, we see the information in the statement that schooling started in this time period here, and Costa Ricans benefited a lot from this changes in their social system, right? The social system is again color-coded here. And please be aware of the synonyms and antonyms. Sometimes you need to be aware of the synonyms in the text as well. Instead of open, for example, in the actual text, you see the word establishment. So open and establishment are closely related in terms of meaning, right? So what did they open or what did they establish is the answer here. So they established free primary care clinics. So this is our answer here. They opened free primary care clinics. For the fourth question, we are again given a definition, a foreign term, Bophelus cab. This is important, right? We need this word to find exact information in the actual paragraph. Bophelus cab is a kind of accommodation with a legal lighthouses, a garden for common use, and a dining hall. So we need to find this explanation or this definition. And after the first sentence comes the second sentence in which they explain what they do in this community. The dining hall serves as a communal setting where every family prepares a meal for the co-housing community once or twice a month, and afterwards they do something else. First they do this, the dining hall serves this, and the dining hall serves as a communal setting where every family prepares a meal. So what I mean is, first the family prepares this and they do what afterwards? Okay, let's go to the actual paragraph where you can find the information. The answer is on page 4, paragraph 1, under the subtitle Accommodation. As you can see in this under this subtitle, you will see the definition of Bufalus Cab, where it is and what it is like. And in the rest, you can see what each family does. These are the activities they do in this community place. And then when after each family cooks 1 or 2 meals, they do this, right? So instead of the word then, in the actual paragraph, in the question, they used afterwards. Afterwards and then are synonymous. So we need to be after this information, what they do afterwards. What they do afterwards is each family eats the rest of its meals free. So eats the rest of its meals free is our answer. This was a little bit difficult, I need to admit. So let's continue with the next one. You will find that question 5 is relatively easy compared with the rest. In question 5, here goes the statement. Sparing time for themselves is also important for Danes to be happy. Therefore, of Danes are members of a sports organization. About half of the population does voluntary work. So please pay attention to the key words here. Danes is important here. And sparing time for themselves is important. Sparing times, we may be looking at some synonymous word or phrase for this. And therefore happens what? Of Danes, something of Danes are members, or somebody of Danes are members of this, right? So the correct information is hidden in this paragraph 4 on page 5. So under the subtitle Requirements for Happiness, you can see that there is some writing on Danish happiness, Danish people. In the actual paragraph, the sentence, setting aside time for self-fulfillment is another key ingredient of Danish happiness, is rephrased as in this sentence here. Sparing time for themselves is also important for Danes to be happy. So to be happy or self-fulfillment can be seen as synonymous, and instead of sparing time for themselves, they said in the paragraph, setting aside time, right? So instead of the word important for Danes, we say key ingredient, right? As you can see, Danes belong to a club or association according to the paragraph 4. And in the statement, however, again, we are given that Danes are members of a sports organization. So a sports organization is changed to a club or association in the actual paragraph. So Danes, but which Danes are they? So in the paragraph, you will see that more than 90% of Danes do this, right? And again, in the actual statement question, it says about half of the population does voluntary work. We know that half of the population can be rephrased into more than 40%, as it is done in the actual text here. So now the only part that is missing in this question here, as you can see, this is the question. Sorry, this is the question. So this part is missing, right? So for this part, we need more than 90% to complete the statement perfectly. This is question 6, and in question 6, you see the word Boulder in Colorado, right? So this is a place name, and I need to look for this place name in the text. So this is a key information for me. And after this, we can see that there comes a blank here, and after the blank, there comes another phrase which says, feel even more pleased about realizing their aims. You need to remember that follow and feel even more pleased about realizing their aims will be rephrased. So let's look at the answer to this question, which is hidden in paragraph 4 and 5 on page 5. As you can see, there is Boulder, Colorado as a subtitle, and the word pursue in the paragraph is used synonymously with the word follow in the statement. And what do they follow, or what do they pursue, is this: their purpose more rewardingly. So their purpose more rewardingly is our answer. To make sure, we can use read the following statement in the actual paragraph. In the reading paragraph, it says achieving their goals. Instead of saying achieving their goals, we rephrase it in a statement by saying feel even more pleased about realizing their aims. So realizing their aims and achieving their goals are used almost synonymously for us. At this point, I need to remind you that in the English proficiency exam, you're going to be given 6 questions for the search reading text. But for this task, because this is a task for exercise, you will be given 8 questions. So let's continue with the 2 more questions. In question 7, again, we are given an information on Boulder community. The place Boulder in Colorado, US. We know that in Boulder, they commute to work on their bikes, and therefore the city has something. What do the city have is the question. So for this, let's have a look at the keywords. They don't want to lower the quality of their lives is key information for us. A high number of residents in Boulder commute to work on their bikes. This is another key information. So bike, we're looking for the word bike, and therefore the city has, and the gap comes here. So I'm going to take you to page 5, paragraph 4 and 5, the quality of life for Boulder community, or Boulder city. In the paragraph, at the end of this paragraph, we're giving that as a result, Boulder residents bike to work. So they like biking to work, as we are given in the statement here, right? And one of the highest rates in the nation, 17 times more than the national average. For this part, we are given no information that is equal to this part here, so we can continue with for the rest. Why do they do that? Why do they bike is given here. They do it for cleaner air, fewer accidents, and fewer overweight people. So in short, actually they do it for clean air, fewer accidents, and fewer overweight people, and they have these things, right? So cleaner air, fewer accidents, and fewer overweight people is our answer. The last question is this: despite these achievements in Boulder, due to some changes in the cultural structure, Boulder's something have also been higher than the national average. So we're looking for a word that is plural, right? I know that because the verb is have. It is used plural. So let's keep that in mind and continue with the key words in the statement. Despite these achievements in Boulder, so there is some kind of disappointment here with the word despite, so I need to look for this word. And again, there is a reasoning, there is a reason here, and it is given with the word due to. I need to be careful with this part, and cultural structure is important for me to find the answer. And the answer to this question is stress levels. This is our answer. As you can see, the word levels is plural. So if we go to page 6, the last page, the paragraphs 3 and 5, we will see that we are given information about how to manage to tackle these challenges. The word, instead of the word despite these, instead of the chunk here, despite these achievements in Boulder, in the text, we are given this sentence, still, change continues to threaten Boulder's way of life. So the word threaten and despite can be seen linked, right? There's a link between, in terms of meaning here. And following this sentence, we are given this information that a highly paid, more driven culture is replacing the laid-back outdoor lovers. So the word replace is important here because in the statement we see that the word change is used instead of replace, right? So due to some changes in this cultural structure, it says, and these changes are a highly paid, more driven culture, right? A culture and which is replaced with this. And because of this, Boulder's something have also been higher than the national average. So if you go to this paragraph, you will see that in Boulder, the stress levels are higher. They have higher stress levels compared with others. So the word stress, the word stress levels will be our key, the information that we need from this paragraph. So that is concluding my presentation here. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.